or if you're at the pool all day, but like the water aerobics is of the morning, but it's a nice pool area.
So this was the gym.
This was the gym, and it didn't have this spot to the left.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is
it's
pretty
really awesome. And people really like this. I don't know.
Legacy's kind of a weird one. What kind of person would want to move into Legacy?
Okay, so for me, my opinion is that so when I'm at Legacy over there in the morning or the office, I hear them playing pickleball, but I for some reason thought they had a ton of pickleball courts.
Well, they do. It's kind of it's kind of hard to see, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is where
8,
Mom and Leslie play.
10, 11, 12. I don't know. It's probably like 20, give or take. Yeah, they'll come up here and play, and I think every morning you can find pretty big groups of people. So we're out here at what time?
It's right at noon.
Right at noon.
So nobody's here in the summer at noon. But also, I do know that from a lot of people that I have sold to in all these communities here in Leesburg, even though they have pickleball courts in their communities, they come here and play for a little more competition. Yeah,
that's probably a fun way to meet people and stuff like that.
You're not always playing with just 55 and over. I mean, it's probably predominantly that. But anyway, I don't know. A lot of people love to come here. Wow, it's...
Yeah. The only thing I think they should do is add some lights.
Yeah, so you can play at night.
So you can play at night,
but it is nice they have all these shade areas. I mean, it's a nice place. It's a great location there. I think there are a lot of walking paths and stuff back here too. But
yeah, we'll take. There's a map we can take a look at too.
Okay, cool.
So today we're going to Legacy at Leesburg.
Yes.
This is kind of an interesting community. It's right on what do you guys call this? The 27. 55 plus row or whatever.
Byers calls it Wrinkle Row. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, this is like 55 in heaven right here.
Yeah.
Legacy is directly across. So, and then you've got Rodello's right there in that building, of course, our office. But it's a great location. It's right in between all of the main ones. So it's between Arlington Ridge and Plantation on this side of the road, across from Legacy. Then Highland Lakes is right there, and then Royal Highlands just a little bit further down. So
yeah, Plantation. Did you say Plantation?
Yeah, Plantation.
Okay.
We're right. When we're here, Arlington Ridge is there. Plantation is on that. I mean, it's a little further down the road, but it's in between those two. So it hits all 5 of the main Leesburg communities.
Yeah, so it's like, and if you're going to come check out one of these communities, you're probably going to take the time to check out a couple other ones because they're all kind of right here.
If they're looking in this area, they're at least looking at 2 or 3 of the ones that fit their needs.
So here's Pear Park. This is kind of, again, central to all this stuff. But you've got, obviously, the pickleball courts, which we just checked out, dog park, tons of hiking and biking. So we'll go into Legacy and kind of do an in-depth tour. We'll hop in the car and chat on the way over there. Legacy's kind of a weird one. Well, okay, well, before we get too far in the video, if you're not familiar, this is Tricia.
Hi, guys.
So she'll be taking us through Legacy today. But Legacy's a little different than a lot of the other 55 plus communities. Who kind of fits Legacy? What kind of person would want to move into Legacy?
Okay, so for me, my opinion is that Legacy is a really nice community. You can get a very nice home, but it doesn't have as many activities and amenities as some of the other communities in Leesburg do, like Royal Highlands and Plantation. It's on the smaller scale, about 1,000 homes, but it's really nice, and the amenities that they have are nice, but there's just not as many. So I think it fits really well for someone who's looking to get to Florida, to have a nice home in a gated community, but they're not as concerned with as many clubs and not having a restaurant in their community, because a lot of people, that's high on the list, is to have a restaurant. They don't have a restaurant here, but as we pull through, you'll see there's Rodello's right there. So I always tell people it's kind of like the Legacy restaurant, even though it's not inside the gates.
And can you get to that on a golf cart?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So for me, that does it. But those are the things that I noticed that are different. And I don't want to use, like you didn't want to use weird. I don't want to use sleepy. But for me, it's a little sleepier of a community, my opinion. Beautiful entrance.
Yeah, it does have a really, really pretty entrance.
You see, you've got softball fields up here in the front.
And I think we've been up to these softball fields before, and it was multiple teams, or like it was different communities. So does Legacy have a softball team, and then other communities have a softball team that they play out here? Okay.
And so I know that they play, like Royal Highlands also has a softball field, but a lot of these communities have softball teams, and then they'll come and play here at Royal Highlands, places that have their own fields. So it's inter-community play, I guess would say, would that be right? Anyway.
Yeah.
And we don't have a softball field, but they're looking. We used to have a softball team. We haven't had one for a while. They're looking to get another one, and they would play like Royal Highlands.
Well, the mature landscaping on here is really pretty too.
Do you want to go drive through the community first or go to the clubhouse?
First, let's walk through the clubhouse. And I did hear that they are doing renovations.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of renovations. I was here a couple of weeks ago with people. I mean, everything, landscaping around the pool. So it might not be the cleanest
perfect
video, but
yeah, it's not going to show the best right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's getting crazy renovated.
Yeah. Let's start around the backside and see if we can go by the pool. All new equipment was being delivered into the fitness center. The last time I was here, the pool, all the landscaping, et cetera, was being redone. So they really had been working on it, but they were not doing any exterior work to the building when I was here.
And I'm looking over here. So there's no gate guard. Is it just a code?
It's just a code. Or if you live here, then you have a sticker that'll open it so that it opens automatically for you. And then all the sports courts are right here. So you can see they've got shuffleboard, pickleball, tennis.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, there's probably a lot more action right across the street at Pear Park.
Sports courts on both sides of the building.
Okay, cool. And is that just tennis and this is pickleball?
I know pickleball's over here, and I'm pretty sure that's the tennis courts.
Okay.
Well, I cannot believe they're expanding on the building. That's pretty cool. I don't know if
What, this is an expansion?
This part right here, it looks to me like they moved it out.
Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, and was there a walkway all the way through?
No, it was, you went in that door that's open and went to the left, and that was the fitness center.
Well, but I'm saying like this is covered walkway, so they're adding square footage there. This is completely getting renovated. That's actually kind of cool though, because a lot of times places that need renovation, they'll just throw in like carpet and paint the walls.
Exactly, and I was going to say it really did need renovating, so hopefully, oh yeah, this is total. We can see it, but we're not going to see it.
I wonder if there's any renderings.
We can, the guys in the office here are pretty nice, so we can go over and ask them. But
let's ask them.
Yeah, this is, it definitely was in need. And to your point, a lot of times they just get really old and they stay that way and they get a really not the best vibe feel to it. But this will be all brand, the whole place is going to.
Yeah, no, they're going hard. To be fair, I don't think this was even like one of the worst offenders in terms of being out of date.
No, it wasn't.
So the fact that they're keeping it up is...
It is great. And I'll tell you, when I was here
with
my people
up?
before, not so far.
Okay.
When I was here with my people maybe 3 weeks ago, they actually pointed out that they didn't think it needed that much work. So, okay.
So they're kind of surprised that they did it.
So they were ripping out all this landscape when we were here.
Before we get too far let's go over some basic info real quick.
Okay.
So number of homes in here.
Right at 1,000. I think it's 999 to be exact.
Okay. That's not small, but it's not big.
I think it's a good sweet spot. Like, I feel like it has enough homes that there's enough people to do the things that they have. You don't want them too small because sometimes then you can't support the activities and there's nothing going on. And sometimes too big, people feel lost. So it just depends upon what you want. But it's a great community. HOA is $286. They include internet, cable, and lawn care. Okay. And then, of course, all the amenities.
That's so I think it's,
I was going to say it's a really good value because you get your lawn care and your internet and cable.
They're doing all this and they haven't raised the prices.
Well, they raised it slightly the first of the year. But as far as I know, no assessment or anything for this.
Wow.
Unless it comes out in the future. But we don't have any information.
Right.
So I don't think so.
You would imagine they would be doing that beforehand too.
Yeah. You know what? The guys are really nice, but they're not here. Because they're renovating. So they are definitely
going hard.
It's bigger because...
So this was the gym.
This was the gym. And it didn't have this spot to the left. So
yeah, this was all walkway. This was exterior walkway.
This was an exterior wall. So they're adding on quite a bit. And it looks like that is a new wall because it went this way.
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely getting a total overhaul. I said they were getting all brand new equipment the day I was here a few weeks ago. Maybe that they just needed a bigger gym. I don't know. I wish we had more information, but it's really nice. They're really, and like what you said, they didn't really need a renovation. It wasn't as old as many of the others that we go to. One thing I really like about here is there are a lot of cool little shady tree areas, but also if you remember kind of around the outside of the community, there's a really nice walking trail here. It's wooded. It's tree covered. It's really, really nice. And there are several miles of that.
That's specifically what I've had some people that work with Explorer have said specifically they chose this community because of the walking path.
Yep. A lot of people, when they call us, they want that, but they want it covered. So like, for instance, Trilogy, it's not covered. We have a walking path, but it's not covered.
Sun shade.
So no shade. You're in the blistering sun all summer long. And there are just a few of them that have nice covered walking paths, and this being one of them.
We'll check that out.
So yeah.
Okay.
If we would have
see that at some point.
If we would have been able to get the guys, they could have given us a key. We're just going to have to come back here.
I'll just stick this over the fence here.
I'll find out with them when it's going to be finished. But it's a beautiful pool area. And they do water erosion out by the pool. So that's nice.
Do you typically see people here in like the morning or the afternoon?
People are here at the pool all day, but like the water aerobics is of the morning. But it's a nice pool area. You got zero entry, but it's just a nice area.
Cool.
It's really pretty cool. What I was going to say about Legacy was, I think if you're, I don't want to say on a tight budget, but if you're a little more conservative about what you want to spend for the square footage you're getting, or maybe even for a private home site with a view, and you don't want a huge HOA, but you still want a nice community and a good location, I think this is a great choice for you. It's, people are very friendly, and the homes are quite nice.
What's the home that we get to check out?
It's really awesome. It's an explorer couple that bought it a few years ago, and they completely renovated it. So when I walked in, I was blown away.
Tricia's got a beautiful listing in Legacy of Leesburg that she walked through, and we did a video on the other channel. If you want to see that, we'll put a link to it at the end of this video.
It was dark and kind of dreary and very outdated when they bought it, and they love a project. So anyway, they called to say they thought they wanted to sell and maybe move up closer to Lady Lake where she works. And could I come out? And they were like, oh, well, we've done a lot of work. And, you know, some people say we've done a lot of work, and that means they painted their cabinets themselves or whatever. It's just not really a big change. This house is night and day different.
So in terms of the code there, does each resident have like a guest code? So if someone comes through, they know which resident gave the guest code?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And you can give your code out to whoever you trust, or there's an option where they can actually call you, and then you push like 9 on your phone or whatever.
And let them
you in. So if it's somebody that's just coming to your house one-off and you don't want to give them your code, then there's a way around that. And then we actually have a code working for the office. We have a code, a realtor code. That changes periodically so people know.
So in terms of homes, what's the price point?
So you'll be in the mid-2s all the way up to almost 6, depending on the size. If it's a 3-car garage, if it has a pool, if it's on the water, there are really cute little lakes around here that you can have the home on, which you'll see when we're in the home we're going to look at. So it really is, it's going to depend upon all those factors. How large you want, if you want a neighbor behind you, if you want open space, if you want conservation. And then another deciding factor that makes that price difference is, of course, if you're okay with just a 2-car garage, or if you want a 3-car garage, it's going to cost more.
And one of the cool things, so if you guys are familiar with the channel, you know Justin, who helps us with filming a lot of times. His dad lives in here, and he's a big golfer. And there's no golf course in Legacy. One of the cool things is that the back of this community connects to 19. And then right up the road is Mission Inn. So he was a member at Mission Inn, and then just cutting that little corner off to get to 19, and then you can get to Howie in the Hills. You can get to all that stuff over there.
It was like 10 minutes.
What's that?
Would it be like 10 minutes to get to Mission Inn?
Not
the back, not even.
I mean, if you hit 19 there, probably not even. You got the Aloha Bakery. But having that back connection is kind of nice.
Awesome. Yeah, especially if you're a golfer.
Just easier to get to certain stuff, so you don't have to go out onto 27, down, over.
Right, you cut off all the busy traffic.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but that's perfect.
Well, so this is the walking path here?
This is the walking path. I think it's really nice. I love all the big trees. I'm a fan of Spanish moss. I know a lot of people think it's terrible, but I love Spanish moss. It just makes me feel like Florida or the South.
Yeah.
I've always liked Spanish moss, so.
Oh yeah, this is really pretty.
Right? It's just really scenic, and it's shady, so when you're walking, the majority of this path is shaded.
Nice.
And you got little benches, and there's a gazebo, and...
How many miles of walking paths were there?
I'll have to check to give it exact, but it's several miles.
Okay.
If you get off and on the same spot, I'm going to guess there's got to be over 5, but I'll try to find that out. And in comparison, like Trilogy is 1.4. It's concrete. It's not an actual path. It's not an actual trail. It's a path. See how pretty that is?
Yeah, it's super pretty. Walking on this too is silly as it sounds. It's like so much easier on your joints.
Yes, than on the concrete.
So people that want
a true path in their community, this is a great spot. Great spot. Great.
Nice. There's a nature walk up in Howie in the Hills. I actually don't know if they have it still up, but it's there's stuff around here too.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So you could have here, you could have the nature path at Pear Park. You would have inside the community.
Pear Park, yeah. And are you allowed to take a bike on this if you wanted to?
I would assume so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I saw any.
see-
There was no signs that said no bikes or anything.
So like
Yeah, this is
at some of
pretty.
the
Look at this.
communities, you can't have dogs on the paths,
Right.
and you can't have bikes or any skateboards, anything like that. Here, there's no sign saying you can't, so I'm quite sure you can.
Sweet.
Kinda
This feels
feel
like
you're
a
at Lake Louisa or something, right?
yeah.
I mean,
This
it
feels like a
part-
preserve or something. It doesn't feel like a walking path in a community.
And again,
Wow.
this is something that's busier of the morning when it's cooler this time of year. So I doubt that we'll see anybody out here. But I could walk out here right now and I'd be fine. I mean, it's a little warm, but with the shade, I think it's
It's
Yeah,
night
I
and
mean,
day.
like, if
10 degree difference
Yeah.
there.
so even if you didn't want to get up early and walk, it's still not bad out here at all.
Wow, look at this. I actually haven't been down this
I haven't.
River Loop Trail.
I've been behind a small section behind the homes before, but this is it has a very Lake Louisa vibe to it. So I don't
Yeah,
know, I
this
think
is
it's
pretty.
really awesome. And people really like this. I don't know how much you guys pay attention, but like when we get a lead, I would say one of the top 5 things that people want, a request, is a nice walking. So
Cool. You guys in the comments throw down what your your biggest wants are. That'd be kind of interesting to see. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I used to live on the Coast to Coast Trail near that, and don't really consider it that much when you're buying a house or think about it. But then when I lived there and moved away from it, it was like, oh my gosh, it was so nice to have.
yeah, because you can hop out there, ride a bike, walk, run, whatever you want to do.
And I would just anytime I hopped on a phone call or just in the evenings, I would just step on my front door, walk to the trail, go down. But then, like you said, just having the shade here, this makes this way more usable really any time of the day.
Like you said, probably 10 degrees difference. It really is.
It really is. Yeah. Also, I gotta say, I just got back from Norfolk to see my brother.
Yeah.
He's in the Navy. Everybody complains about Florida summers.
I know what you're going to say.
It was literally just as bad as Florida.
It's hotter. All my family lives in Kentucky, and some of them complain like, oh my gosh, it's so hot in Florida in the summer. And my sister sends them almost every day a screenshot of the weather app of here and the 3 places that her 3 sons live, which are Northern Kentucky, Louisville, and Nashville. And almost every day it's hotter in those 3 places than it is here. And they have the same humidity.
So you get cold winters and then
Yeah.
equally as hot. It's kind of ridiculous.
But yeah, you're right. The summers are, in my opinion, hotter. But I would give up, even if it's the same. It's really nice to not have to shovel snow, period. Not have to drive in snow and ice. That's
Yeah, I'm taking heat over cold any day.
I was going to say that makes,
Once you
even
get
if
used
it's a
to it.
few degrees, then who
Yeah.
cares? I know that people from maybe Michigan, Wisconsin, they have a difference in their temperature in the summer than we do, probably. But that, Midwest area.
Well, if you can get, I think it's an elevation thing too. Typically, if you can get a little bit higher. But I mean, Norfolk, we were at sea level and it was scorching.
We'll ride around and give a couple of ideas because the curb appeal in this community, I think, is quite nice.
What year did they start building here?
1990. I have to look to give
Late
you the exact
90s,
date.
probably.
Late 90s, and then they finished early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Just one thing to point out, it is not a negative if you want a golf course in your community, like J. Michael was saying. A lot of people do. It also doesn't have to be perceived as a negative because we have so many courses locally and close that you can play. Like you said, you can go to Mission Inn, you can play at Plantation or Royal Highlands or Arlington Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have all these other public courses. But one thing that you don't have to worry about is supporting it because it's one of the fastest declining sports in the United States, golf. And so it does take a lot for a community to support it. And as you know, several of the communities, their golf courses have closed down, gone through trouble, changed ownership, then lease, then the HOA takes them over, et cetera. So there is a financial liability when you have it. So it's not necessarily a negative to not have a golf course.
Well, that's a really good sidebar. So, let's say I was a buyer and I was interested in a golf course, or potentially living in a community with a golf course. What kind of questions, as a buyer, should I be asking about the golf course, the community, the health of the golf course, so that I know Does that make sense? So that I know I'm not buying like a dying golf course that is going to end up being a burden or unusable or whatever it is.
So a couple of questions when you first start talking to us that I would ask would be, is it open to the public or is it private?
Private, yeah.
Because that makes a big difference. If the public helps to support it, that's a good thing. Have they had any assessments with the golf course? Have they had any trouble? Has it closed down? Is it under new management, changed management hands, etc.? And then what are the fees? Because some of them, like, and I love Stone Creek, but they have very high membership fees. And they're also very hard. It's hard to get a tee time there. So there's a lot of questions that go into that. But then on top of that, the thing that I personally always do, let's say that we're in Royal Highlands looking at homes and I know you're a golfer and that's important to you. I have enough knowledge to help you out, but then I take you to the pro shop and I let you have some serious, because I'm not a golfer. So my knowledge of golf is putt-putt, and pretty good at that, by the way. But anyway, so I always let them go to the pro shop so that they can ask more specific questions and get some answers from the people that actually work in the pro shop and have even better knowledge of what the health is or the financial risk of that community. And people find that really helpful. But I really suggest that because most of us agents are not golfers. We don't have time. We know the facts, but you want to dig a little deeper, I think, and make sure it works for you.
Dude, look at that palm tree. Oh my gosh.
And that is so probably the most important things for us to discover when we're talking to people for the first time, that is another one of those things, is what does their perfect home site look like? Do they want a neighbor behind them? Do they not? Do they want to be on water? A lot of people in Florida that are moving to Florida don't want to be on water because they're afraid of alligators. So, I mean, there's so many things, but that's one of the most important questions, because people want to tell you about their home, what they're looking for in a home, and we need that. But we also, so that we don't have a bad first day out looking, we need to know what you want as far as home site is too. So.
These are very, very good curb appeal in this community.
Very good. And you have a decent amount of homes that either have 2.5 or 3 car garages. So that's nice. And then I don't know if you notice, like in the newer communities, so these homes are a wider footprint. In newer communities, for the same square footage, they're not as wide, so that they can put more in a home in a community. Yeah. And so you do get that wider, more traditional feel when you walk into a home instead of the smaller, I don't know what you would call it, but I don't think they're like row houses, but you know what I mean. In these older homes, you do get a wider footprint.
I mean, look at the space between these two houses.
Yep, and there's a dry retention behind, or a wet retention, but there's a retention area right there. And that's not one of their what I call pretty lake areas. There are some really gorgeous home sites here.
Cool.
And then a lot of them, even if they're back to back like this with neighbors, you can put enough landscaping in to soften that view, so you don't have to worry about that. But anyway, it's just something else that, as we discover what people want, that we need to be asking about.
Well, just this one, like the landscaping is consistently really nice out front. So the community takes care of the landscaping?
Yes. Yep, and the internet and cable. I'm telling you, it's a really good value.
Okay, so Tricia got some information on the Legacy video too here, because we were kind of talking about the renovations. I don't know, we'll splice this in so it makes sense. But we're talking about the renovations. And we're kind of curious if the HOA might go up or something. But what did you find out?
Okay, so I spoke to homeowners in the community, and they said the HOA is not going up. They are not getting an assessment. It's a very financially sound community. They had more than enough money to spend, and they needed the work done, so they decided to go ahead and do it. It should be scheduled. It's scheduled to be finished September or October, which means it'll probably be October or November. But it's supposed to be a beautiful renovation. They did add square footage to the clubhouse. Supposedly they're going all out. So it's going to be really beautiful. I'm very anxious to see it when it's finished.
Cool. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that tour. If you guys want more information on Legacy, or if you want to get connected with Tricia, we'll put her information up on the screen.
Absolutely. And we will be back with the renovation so you guys can see the progress. And hopefully you'll want to come have a look at Legacy. It's a great community. Thanks, guys.
Slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip. And he's here to do some business with a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name